Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Lisa Belt, or Coach Lisa, and this is the Unshakable Living Show. And today I have the distinct privilege and honor of having Rachel Wayte join me from all the way from the UK. Rachel, you're my first international guest. So I am
How
just beyond excited, to have you this morning. So without further ado, I'd just love to have you go ahead and introduce yourself and just tell us a little bit about what you're about.
Sure, and thank you for having me, Lisa. I'm excited to be coming to you all the way over here. I'm based in Manchester, which is in England, and Lisa knows me quite well. I am founder of a movement called She Shakes the World. I am a world-renowned sound healer, energy healer, and medical intuitive. And my purpose is to really work with leaders, to work with people who are here to really shape the world in a really positive way, to help them really release all those things, the beliefs, the emotions, the thoughts, all those things that keep us stuck,
Yes.
releasing those so that people can create miracles, they can create transformation, and they can create all kinds of beautiful and wonderful things in the world that they are meant to be doing, that sometimes our own selves hold us back from. And I'm really important to me that I help people to really see all those things that are keeping them stuck, that they don't need to hold on to anymore, and release them so that they can actually find that freedom and that joy in their life. So that's a little bit about who I am
Yeah.
and what I do.
So, Rachel, you and I have worked together and I have experienced what you do. And I have to say, it is transformational. It
Thank
is
you.
just, you are so gifted in this. And I appreciate your gifts and I applaud them. And I am so thrilled to see you use them on a worldwide basis. And so you and I were talking before we started recording today about, mine is becoming unshakable and yours is shaking the world. And so I want to really call out how complementary these things are, because my purpose is in alignment with yours. It is helping primarily women get unstuck and become who they're supposed to be. And so instead of allowing the world to shake us, we're going out and shaking the world. So
Yes.
talk to us a little bit more about what She Shakes the World is.
So for me, it was over probably about 18 months ago now. I realized that there was a deeper call. So I've done a lot of private work with people, and it's really beautiful, important work. But I realized also that there was a bigger calling. There's lots of people here who, or especially women, who I feel have this desire for more, have this
Mhm.
desire to be more free, let's say, and have this desire to make a difference, make an impact in the world. And so She Shakes the World came about as a mission, as a way of empowering women to recognize the importance of who they are, what they're here to
Yeah.
do. And that the world does need shaking. And this is in a really positive way. And that we don't actually, I think often we feel like we need to dim our light. We need to play small. We need to just
Yes.
safe, and we need to not rock the boat, and we need to stay,
Be
and
the good, be the good girl. Hmm.
I'm here to say no, it's time to actually come out from all of that. And let's really, shaking the world is about really raising the vibrations of the planet, raising the vibrations of the world, raising people's own frequency, and making a positive impact. Because I think especially right now, a lot of people are asleep, and
Yes,
we need to help them wake up.
that's
Does that
awesome. Oh, absolutely, absolutely love it. So who is your typical person that you're working with? I think it would be really easy for people to go, oh, well, that's not me. I'm just a housewife.
mm,
I'm just a mom. I'm just a project manager. Who are you looking for? Who do you see waking up and shaking the world?
brilliant question. And I think I created She Shakes the World because I wanted to help those people, like you said, who's, oh, I'm just this, I'm just that. No, we're all important. We all have a mission and we all have a purpose here. I really believe that. And yes, the private clients that I work with, they are the leaders, they are the business owners, they are people who have got maybe the money to invest in that private bespoke work. But She Shakes the World is about, let's empower everybody, or
Yeah.
people who, and I have an interview series, I'm creating group programs, I'm creating all kinds of things that are going to be access to everybody, or access to the people who are ready to go, actually there's more to this, I'm meant for more. Like I'm not going to let life hold me back anymore, and I'm going to decide to make a difference for myself, but do it for themselves, but also make a difference in the world.
That's
So
fantastic.
yeah, and
I
I
just,
really was too mindful that I
yeah,
wanted to see this is something that anybody can access. Who's ready to access it?
yeah. Oh, and so let's touch on that, because that I think is so much that is so crucial, is being ready. And so I
Mm,
want to contrast being ready with, maybe contrast isn't the right word. Let's explain a little bit more about what being ready means. Being ready doesn't mean launching a podcast. Being ready doesn't mean, becoming a sound healer. Talk to me about being ready, and what are those baby steps that people can take to get started?
what a really good question, because I think when people think that they're ready, that means that they've got everything done, that they've healed
Mm-hmm.
everything, that
Yep.
they've got all the
Yep.
training, that they know everything. Being ready is actually when you hear that calling inside and you're like, hold on, I'm not happy, I'm not fulfilled, I'm feeling a bit stuck, or there's more. I don't know what that is yet, but I've got this desire, and I can feel that inside of me. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how I'm going to get there yet, and I don't know what that looks like, and I'm scared, and I could just stay where I am, but I don't want to stay where I am anymore. You're actually in quite a frustrated place. You're
Yeah.
actually in quite
Yes.
like, oh, what confusion, overwhelmed, you can feel all of those things. That's You're ready, I would say, to go,
Yes.
oh, what is the next step that I'm going to take? Maybe it's to listen to Lisa's podcast, maybe it's to listen to one of Rachel's interviews, and that's being ready in my mind. It's you're never ready in that sense that you know
Yep.
everything, but that's what I feel like anyway.
And I am completely on board with you. I think being ready, and it's interesting. The image I got is for those of you who are listening in who have given birth. It's that last day or two before you give birth. It's like, I don't think I can do this. Do I want to do this? I really don't have any choice not to do this, but I don't know if I can do this. And even once the labor pains start, and you're in the process of giving birth, you're still going, I don't think I can do this.
And this isn't much fun either, is it? It's
Exactly.
not
And
always
so,
an easy journey.
and in that labor process, they call it transition, right? That is one of the medical terms that they use, is transition. You transitioning from being ready, of being into labor, and then delivering. And I think some of these callings that are on our lives sometimes are the same kind of thing. It gets really uncomfortable, and you just feel really full, and you're not happy, and you can get overwhelmed. And then it's that the whole thing starts, and sometimes you feel like it's moving whether you want it to or not.
Yes.
And, we always in life have the opportunity to say no or to slow down, but sometimes it pulls you forward. And I think that's okay. So, one of
Mm,
the biggest challenges I've had personally is letting go of control. So,
yes.
talk to me about what you've seen with your clients about that letting go of control kind of mindset and mentality, and just wanting to hold on for dear life.
I think it's such a thing to be able to let go of that control. I think that control, or that desire to sort of know what's happening and stay in our comfort zone, is a safety mechanism, because we know it. It's safe. We know what's going to happen. It might not be exactly how we want life to be, and we
Mhm.
might not be fulfilled, and we're not necessarily 100% happy, but we know it, and it's safe
Yeah.
and comfortable, and you can it's predictable. So actually to free yourself and release, sometimes it's, I see it around clients, it's like limitations. They've wrapped themselves in all these limitations, all these barriers to keep them safe, and when you start removing those barriers and letting them go, it can feel like, oh, a bit unstable, and it can
Yeah.
start to feel a bit
Vulnerable.
vulnerable, and it's like you're learning to walk again, and you're
Mhm.
learning So but there comes so much freedom with that. When you let
Yes.
go of control, it's like, oh, the doors open, the world opens. You like, you can see more, you can, more opportunities can come in. Yes, it's scary, and you will be required to do perhaps new things, or discover new things, or do things that you've not done for a while.
Yes.
Take steps that might make you feel uncomfortable. But also, in that letting go of control, what comes in at the same time is that you're also learning to trust.
Yes.
And when you do that, you get supported. The universe, whether you, God, source, angels, the universe will come in and hold you and support you through that. And I think sometimes when we're so controlled and we're so trying to hold on to it, there's no room for the
Yeah.
help. There's no room to trust, because we're not trusting.
And for those of you who are listening on audio, even as Rachel's talking about this, she's wrapping things close, and she's making herself smaller. She's pulling in. And I
Mm.
think when we're stuck, when we're in fear, we try to make ourselves smaller. When we're trying to stay in that comfort zone, it's like pulling the covers around you, maybe even over your head, and trying to stay hidden. And as we grow, and particularly when we're first called forward, it's standing up and squaring your shoulders and kind of allowing. That word has come to me so much over the last year, is allow. And it's allowing in the goodness. It's allowing in the opportunities. And sometimes those opportunities don't look like what we think they're supposed to look like. And so our fear meter goes up. And again, it's breathing and trusting and opening up. And
Mm.
once you start allowing that in, then you can evaluate, do I want to do this or not?
Yes, it's true. And also, sometimes I think when we do let go of that control, or we do move forwards, it can be that something comes in that we're not expecting, and it can knock us off course, and it can be quite scary. We can think, oh, I let go of control, and this bad, I mean, I'm saying this in inverted commas, this
Yes.
bad happened to me. Oh, I can't, I must have made the wrong thing. I'm going to go back
Yep.
to how I was.
Yep.
And the thing that I have really learned, especially these past few months actually, is to recognize that this is all, whatever is happening to me, and I'm not going to sort of judge it as good or bad. It's happening
Yes.
for me. And I know you would know this as well. But when you can take that
Yeah.
into your mind, so even if this might be something that I could deem to be negative,
Mm-hmm.
and it thinks it's wrong, this is
Yep.
happening for a reason. And once you recognize that, you can learn to move through it and think, oh, what is there for me to learn from this? How can I grow from this? This isn't all necessarily negative. This is something that I'm being shown for a reason.
Yes.
And that can really shift a seeing a much more positive effect for something that, and it will help you then move forwards rather than shrink back into the safety and the comfort.
Yeah. So it is still staying on that topic. Can you think of a specific example? So I understand what you're saying, and I've lived it. Do you have a specific example of something that could come into your life that at first looks like a negative and that might make you shy back, but you can flip it? So do you have a practical real life example of that?
It happened to me.
You or a client?
Yeah. Well, I'm just, something that's just coming into my mind recently, um, is actually something physical that's happened to me and my family actually. So it was probably October time last year, and I was talking to another healer who I know really well, and I've been telling her that, we really want to move house. We have this desire to move here, and we want to move to the sea. We want to move house. So she said, Rachel, you need you need to go and do some energy healing on your house, clear the energy in your house. I said, okay. She said, do it for 5 days. I said, okay, I'll do it for 5 days. And I did it
Okay.
for 5 days,
Mm-hmm.
cleared the house. And that's who I am. That's what some people might think, how do you even do that? I did that. I cleared the energy in
Okay.
the house.
Yeah.
And at first I thought, okay, I'm not feeling that much difference, but we'll let this play out, because I know that this can take time to play out.
Mm-hmm.
I would say within about 2 weeks, I fell ill. My husband fell ill. I was like, oh, this
Oh,
is
wow.
interesting. wow, I could be thinking, well, that clearly didn't work. I'm feeling worse. But no, I felt that we were having a clear out of our energy.
Yeah.
Then over Christmas time, somebody tried to break into our house.
Oh my
So here's me thinking,
gosh.
someone smashing on the window in the middle of the night. The dog hears them. They don't get in. But how much could I
Yeah.
have gone into mode at that moment, going,
Yeah.
hold on, I've healed my house and someone's trying to break in. I said to Gavin, this is happening to us for a reason. Look, they didn't get in the house. Our house was protected. Maybe there's some things that we needed to look at here, but this is not going to start creating fear in I did not allow that to shrink me down back into fear mode. Oh, I need to do this. I need to get
Oh, that's good.
CCTV. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
let that happen. And then after that, bear in mind, both Gavin and I work from home, so we need electricity in our house. Three-quarters of
Yes.
the electric stopped working. They just stopped working. Everything ping. I was like, what is going
That's
on?
crazy.
Crazy, isn't it? And we had 3 weeks where we only had electricity in one room of the house.
Oh my
The
gosh,
lights
that's crazy.
we were having to have extension cables out so that we could get the Wi-Fi working so that I could still see clients. I mean, it was crazy. And all that time, here's, like you said, something's coming at me thinking this is a really negative experience. This clearly has gone wrong. This has gone
Yeah.
wrong. Look what the
Yeah.
healing has
Mm-hmm.
done to my house. But I didn't. I was like, no, this is happening for a reason. Maybe
Yep.
maybe we need.
Yes.
And so when the election finally got here, we had to pull literally everything out of the house so we could get to the floorboards and he could sort it out. And that gave us the opportunity to go look at all the stuff that we have in this house that is keeping the energy low, that we need to get rid of, that we need to shift.
Yep.
And
There you
from
go.
that, we have then, I mean, I can't tell you the stuff that we have cleared, that we have let go of, that we books and books and books, clutter that was cluttering up our life, that was keeping us a bit stuck, keeping Gavin stuck, and new opportunities weren't able to come in
Mm-hmm.
because there was no space.
Got it.
So now we've done that with the electrics are fixed. We're doing that work to clear the house. We're looking at what needs doing, because if we want to move, we need things to be in. We need things to be in order here before we move,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
we don't want to just take our clutter with us
Or their chaos. Yeah.
or
Mm-hmm.
chaos.
Mm-hmm.
So look at that story and how I could have easily gone, well, that didn't work. This is
Yep.
all going
It
wrong, to
did the opposite. Mm-hmm.
opposite. And the whole time in my head, I was going, this is happening to us for a reason. It's happening for a reason. I'm going to trust that it's happening to me for a reason. And I now, this is probably 8 weeks later, we both feel, we didn't feel great around Christmas, January time. Now we can see the shift and we're feeling a lot lighter,
Yeah.
and we can see the change in energy in our house.
That's
So does
really
that answer?
amazing. Oh yeah, no, that's a great example. That's just
Yes.
that was just, and I'm sorry that that happened to you in a way,
No.
but having lived through it, you can now share the process,
Mm.
not just an event, but the process and how that works. So
Yes.
no, that was really excellent. Great example in comparison.
Yes.
And again, I think sometimes in this industry, we want things to happen overnight. We want transformation. We want that magic wand to go twang and you're all
Mm.
better. And
Yeah.
we know that this is an overtime thing. As human beings, we can only absorb so much change all at once. And so we have to make room for the process and allow it. And my very first coaching instructor always used the phrase, trust the process. And I think
Mm.
that's what you've just so aptly demonstrated for us
Yes.
is the
Yeah.
process.
Yes. And I want to encourage people, if you're listening, to go, especially when you're starting out on this journey, you can get all excited and positive. Yes, I'm going to make change in my life, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to take this course, and I'm going to do this. And and sometimes it can be, and then something like you might suddenly get ill, or you might find it harder than you thought it was going to be, or some adversity will come into your life. And I really want you to encourage you to not give up, and to
Yes.
not Well, when we talk about the ruts, don't we? When we're in the coaching program we were on, fall back into the ruts.
Yep.
It can feel like you're going up and down and up and down. It's not always just up, and sometimes you've got to go backwards in order to launch yourself forwards.
Yeah, no, that's really good. I know God's been talking to me about a lot lately about being in discomfort is just as naturally a part of life as being in comfort.
Interesting.
And so much of our lives are spent trying to get out of discomfort and get into ease. And he's going, that's just not how life works. Being in discomfort, whether it's, starting a new exercise program and you've got some sore and stiff muscles, that's a little bit of a discomfort. Or you start a new job and you're growing, and there's that, I'm no longer the expert, I'm the rookie, and I'm starting over in a sense. There's that kind of discomfort. As you start, as you said, pulling those layers off and letting go, there can be some discomfort. And so, it's embracing the discomfort, knowing that this too shall pass and I'm growing through it. So I am getting nudged to switch gears just a little bit here and have you talk about sound healing. And so before you dive into that, would you share with people if they want to find you on social media or if they want to contact you, how can people get a hold of you?
Sure. Thank you, Lisa. Yes. So I'm mainly now actually on LinkedIn. So you can,
Mhm.
I think if you search for Rachel Wayte, you will find me on LinkedIn, Rachel Wayte,
Okay, and
Energy Healing.
spell Wayte.
Thank you. Yes. Wayte. Great. Thank you, Lisa. Thank
Yep,
you for the
yep.
nudge. And I do have a personal profile on Facebook. You can follow me on there as well, or you can find me on my website, which is Rachel RACHEL Wayte WAYTE.com. And those are them.
Perfect.
And I do have a YouTube channel so people can find my interviews on there. They can find some healings on there if they want to sort of get to know me and my energy
Hmm.
as well.
Hmm. Beautiful. Thank you so much. So talk to us about sound healing. And
Wow.
I'm going to brag on you just a little bit. Rachel has the most incredible voice. She is gifted in the area of singing. You are, if I remember right, operatically trained.
Correct. Yes.
Yes. So just kind of talk about that aspect of your life a little bit.
I will, because it's a big part of who I am. And when people hear sound healing, they often will think of maybe the people go and have a gong bath, or they will
Hmm.
see people crystal bowls, and that is a beautiful way of trying sound healing. But for me, it didn't work like that. Like you said, I trained as a classical singer, I trained as an opera singer, so I have this voice that for a long time, once I came out of that world, I thought that part of my life was over, and this voice of
Yes.
mine was, it was done. That was it. And then when I was opening up to my gifts and listening to the intuition and feeling the guidance that was coming to me, I realized about 5 years ago that actually this gift, this voice of mine, needs to be used to help people to
Yes.
heal.
Hmm.
And God flows through my voice, angels
He
flow through,
does.
and because heaven has so many beautiful sounds and vibrations that we as humans cannot hear.
Yeah.
Um, but they're so powerful. And if you think of the fact that we are all energy, we are all frequency, and we are all vibrating, so is sound. And if there's something, this is how I try and explain it. If there's something within you that isn't vibrating as it should, maybe you've got some pain, maybe you've got some emotion that's stuck, your emotions aren't vibrating as they want to, or you've got emotions that are stuck, the sounds can really come in and help move that, shift that frequency,
Hmm.
shift that
Hmm.
vibration, and help it to move on. And even if you think of how beautiful and powerful music is, sometimes if you're feeling low, if you're feeling lost, you're feeling sadness, how beautiful is it that when you can put on some music, you can put on some sound, it's
Yes.
so soothing, it's so healing. And so having this voice, as being able to use it as a tool of healing and as a gift is beautiful. And I'm
It is
so glad I
incredible.
yes to the nudge to start singing, because at first I was like, well, what will people think of this? This is
Uh-huh.
something a bit. And I could have not used it for fear of what people might say. But part of me was like, this, I couldn't, I knew it was fulfilling me at the same time, because when the sound comes out, I feel so joyful and so loving. And I was like, this is who I am. I can't
Yes.
stop this now.
Yes.
So I just let it.
Yep. Yep. That's just beautiful. So are there, do you have sound recordings on your YouTube site? Is that what I heard you say?
There are some, actually. I do have some. They're not publicly
Okay.
soon
Okay.
be on my website where people will be able to download them and listen to them. That's all being put together at the moment. There
Okay.
are a few there, but if people would like to be able to get the recordings, they can always reach out to me.
Okay. That's
Yes.
awesome. That's really great. Anything else on your heart that you would like to share with us this morning?
Oh, that's a question. Hold on, I need to think about that one. I think just to encourage, people who are listening, that if you are, I've got my eyes closed now because I'm just feeling in, if you are listening, thinking, wow, how do I even begin? Where do I begin to make a change in my life? I would say just recognize and honor the fact that you're here for a reason, that you are important and that you matter. You might not think
Yes.
that you really, really,
Mm-hmm.
really matter. There's a reason why you're here, and you're wondering, how do I get connection with God, or how do I get connection with my angels? Just ask and just be open to allowing the energy to come through, and just make that decision maybe today. Yes, I am meant for more, and I am going to start making those. It doesn't have to be a massive overnight transformation. This
Yep.
takes years,
Yes.
but just decision, I'm going to start making some changes in my life. And once you start making those changes, help will come. Like, you don't always need to know how it's going to work out, but start asking for and allowing that help to come in.
And
And
I
know
think
that.
that's another really important thing to touch on is we don't have to do this alone. We're not
No.
intended to do this alone. So asking for help is not only gratitude and humility, but it's admitting that you're starting something new. And every one of us started there.
Mm, yeah.
So really, really encourage people, don't try and do this alone. You're not intended to do this alone. It's a lot more fun to do it in community with others.
Yes,
So,
absolutely. Yes.
all right. So Rachel, tell us one more time how to find you.
Okay, so you can find me. My name is Rachel Wayte, Rachel, Wayte, Wayte. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook, and you can find me on rachelwayte.com.
Beautiful and perfect. And thank you again so very much for joining me this morning. It is my absolute genuine joy and pleasure to have you. So we will connect again soon.